Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I am back in the car and I just saw Death of a Unicorn, written and directed by Alex Sharfman in his directorial debut, starring Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, Will Poulter, Tia Leone, Richard E. Grant, and Anthony Carrigan. An all-star cast and a director that is really out to prove himself with this film, I think. Having taken part in a lot of other films prior as a producer or a writer, even as a co-director, he has one credit as a co-director. This is his opportunity to shine, particularly now working for A24, a film studio that has made a name for itself and has continued to produce really spectacular films over the past few years. I went into this film with really high hopes, knowing what cast I was getting, particularly with Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega as the leads, and I'll be honest, I was a little let down. That does not at all mean that this is a bad film. I just think based on the caliber of film that A24 has put out there in the past few years, this is a little beneath them. There is some really great social commentary, some wonderful acting, awesome cinematography, but somehow it just doesn't really work. I think it's paced and structured very well. I think the dialogue is effective. I think that this group of actors plays off of one another wonderfully. They have great chemistry. And I really appreciate, and for any horror thriller fans out there, that this film, Death of a Unicorn, was greatly inspired in a multitude of ways by Ridley Scott's Alien. The lead character, Jenna Ortega, her character's name is Ridley. We get a lot of the same sort of jump scares, the same sort of ease into the horror, similar set designs, and then even the aesthetics of the unicorns have similarities to the xenomorphs from the original Alien film. A lot of this stuff really works. And I just feel that there are moments of this film that are flat, and there are far too many of them, and just that sort of break up what works really well. There are down moments where there's just nothing being given to us, and I was really grasping for something, hoping for a little bit more, whether it was in the dialogue or whether it was in the action or maybe in the pacing at that moment. I felt that there was a ton of time in which I just wasn't getting enough content. And again, I thought that the pacing overall was done pretty well, but with these choppy moments, I felt that it really detracted from what did work, and I found myself in moments bored. Overall, entertained, but in certain moments, bored. My biggest gripe with the film, in a film about unicorns where you're going to get a lot of special effects, and A24, a production company that has really outdone themselves in the past few years, I was anticipating something a little bit better in terms of the special effects. I found that they were not very crisp. There were moments where they felt wonky, that like maybe an amateur could have created these, and they don't blend well with the very realistic nature of this film because it is steeped in ideas of government issues and I don't know what the word that I'm looking for is, but it deals a lot in social issues that keeps it very grounded, and I'm okay introducing a supernatural being as one of the main characters or one of the main vehicles for the story, but the special effects need to be on point, and they are not. There are moments where they are a bit troublesome and they don't deliver the way that I had hoped, and I think that most people would hope that they were delivered to them. Death of a Unicorn, again, maybe the most disappointing A24 film. That's saying a lot, maybe, but you have to take into consideration that I've gotten some really, really interesting films out of this production company lately, and they set the bar really high for themselves. It's okay to falter every now and then. This is not a bad film whatsoever, ever. And I think that Alex Sharfman will probably find his way in Hollywood, continuing to create not low budget, but maybe some under the radar films going forward. he'll continue to be surrounded by a great cast because it seems like his direction for them worked very well and he got the best out of them. So I anticipate that he will continue to work with really spectacular talents and really incredible production companies going forward. I just need it to be a little more buttoned up going forward when it comes to his screenplays and ultimately to his direction. With all that being said, I give Death of a Unicorn a 6.5 out of 5. I think it is a film that you should watch at some point. Wait for it to end up on streaming services. I don't remember if it's Max or something else that gets most of the A24 films, but when it is inevitably available on a streaming platform, I encourage you to sit down and watch it. It is bloody, it is gruesome, it is incredibly gory, there's a ton of foul language. This is not a family film by any means. Don't let the idea of a unicorn being present in this film trick you into thinking that this is a film for the family. No, it is for mature audiences for sure, and I know that there are certainly groups of people that will not love this film because of the very mature nature of it. Again, I will give Death of a Unicorn a 6.5 out of 10, and until next time, peace.